Hi, this is Alkin, and welcome back to my channel. Well, we have an interesting story from the New York Post. The mother of the train operator was killed back in 2020 when his train was set on fire. Spoke out about not having fire extinguishers on the train. Yes, maybe for those who do not know, but when we got the 68s, they came with fire extinguishers. Only the transit took them out sometime later. We still don't know why to this day. I don't know if it had anything to do with theft or what are the reasons they just took them out. I mean, Sunday when that woman was set on fire, somebody could have just ran into the cab, grabbed a fire extinguisher, and put the fire out on this lady. Not waited for somebody to locate one. But unfortunately, it's not the case. Well, let's read the story. I know it's in the post and people don't like the post, but too bad. Anyway, this is by Chris Harris. Mom of MTA worker killed in subway car fire, mad that conductors had no extinguishers. The torching death of a woman sleeping on a Brooklyn train that has stirred up painful memories for a still grieving mother and left her outraged that the NTA hadn't learned its lesson. It's not going to. They still hadn't paid for what they did to me. They're not going to. When news of the shocking subway killing reached her Arizona home, Vicky Goebbels, 73, immediately thought of her son, Garrett Goebbels, and I'm sorry I'm saying these names wrong, who died in 2020 when someone set a fire on a number 2 train he was operating. It was so badly damaged the 5-car units had to be scrapped. Of course, any parts were taken out before then. For me, it was a shade of remembering my son and what he went through working for the MTA. Gobos told the Post Friday, I just can't imagine there were people on the train just watching this guy doing this and did nothing to try to stop him. I know, I know. You should look at the article. There's photos of him and the family. Garriott Goebel, 36, a married father of 2 sons, just started his shift as a motorman on March 27, 2020, just around the time the pandemic was hitting, when a career criminal loaded a trash-filled shopping cart on the 2 train and set it ablaze. A 6-year MTA veteran, Garrett Goebbels, navigated the blazing train through the blackened subway tunnels to a Harlem station, where the hero dad helped evacuate more than a dozen passengers. He returned for his bag but died from smoke inhalation, his mother said. The pain and memory of her son's death forced Vicky Goebel to leave Brooklyn Flatlands neighborhood in 2022 for Arizona. She said, they did nothing. Vicky Goebel said of the NTA, which still does not provide NTA workers with fire extinguishers in their cabs, something she and Garrett Goebel's wife had been calling on the agency to do since his death. I'm mad because they forgotten about my son, Vicky Goebel said. It's a shame that more things hadn't been done to improve fire safety on the subway for the workers and the riders. They want to do all this modernization of the stations, but without the workers and people who use them, you won't have a subway system. They could at least put a fire extinguisher in the cabs of the conductors. They may have given people a fighting chance to put out a fire. The people they are in power tend to forget where they come from. The NTA worker operating last weekend's train may have been able to save the woman if they had acted. The woman killed in last week's subway car fire, had only been described as homeless. Guatemala immigrant Sebastian Zapara Caleri has been arrested for Herman's murder. I'm very disappointed, she said. Nathan Evander, the man who started the 2020 fire, has yet to stand trial on the murder and arson charges. An NTA spokesman said the fire extinguishers were only kept along the tracks and were in the booth of the station, both area the public cannot access. Yeah, but the criminals do. The NTA isn't doing anything, especially with fire safety. Vicky Goebel said the system is so antiquated for a city of this size. It's just great and it's important. But yes, she does make a point that a fire extinguisher is a very important safety equipment that should be in the cabs, but they removed them many, many years ago. And we still don't know why. I don't know if it's because they were stealing them, because it's not that hard to break through the doors on some of these cars. Even though the 68s are doors are stronger, but the glass is not. We had many times the glass being kicked out. But the fact is, yes, they should be carrying these things. I mean, if you could put 8 shoe paddles in a modern R160 and 143s and so on, you can put a fire extinguisher in there. You're just too damn lazy, don't want to spend the money. That's what it is. That's all there is to it. You just don't want to spend the money. So, unfortunately, they didn't learn the lesson from 2020. 4 years later, this woman gets set on fire by this illegal immigrant. And because the fire extinguisher was not in the cab, they had to go search for one. And it took too much time to save this woman's life. You know, they were able to do that. And plus, the fire extinguisher would have been a great weapon to whack Zapata in the back of the head while he was flamming the flames on her to get him out of the way so they could rescue this lady. That was probably another reason why they didn't get involved, because the way he was acting. I mean, there's no excuse not to have it. I'm hoping that the media will force the agency and others will force the agency to put these fire extinguishers back in these cars. I mean, there's no reason not to have it. It's really no reason at all. So this is Outcast saying so long for now, and don't forget your stop. The NTA always forgets to stop when it comes to safety.